Okay, hey guys and welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Jasmine. I do BA Japanese. It's a 4-year degree course and I am about to move to Japan in September, having only been on holiday there once back in 2018, and I will be moving there to a partner university to study Japanese for a year. Basically, I have been studying Japanese for more than 6 years. I had a private tutor who taught me both GCSE and A-level Japanese back in, was it 2016 to 2018. After I did the AS, I realized that actually Japanese isn't really a hobby anymore. It's actually like a really big passion of mine. So I took it to degree level. So BA Japanese is comprised of 70% language and like 30% culture. Of course, Japanese degree or a language degree would not be complete without spending some time in the actual country. So number one thing is going to be your passport. Just make sure that it covers the time that you're going to be spending in the country plus 6 months. In terms of your visa, you would probably go in as a student visa if you are doing a year abroad at a university. So I haven't actually got my student visa yet, but my appointment is booked at the Japanese embassy for like 10 days before I go. It is very last minute, but I think because of like COVID and everything, a lot of things are being done right at the last second. So I don't really know why everything's being done at the last minute with my uni. Of course, like you need a bunch of documents in order to obtain a student visa. It's really important to look at the documents that your university asks for, as well as the documents that the Japanese embassy asks for in your country. One of my classmates has had to leave his passport and his certificate of eligibility, all the original documents at the embassy, and then he's gonna go and pick them back up in about 3 working days. So it seems like it's quite easy to obtain, but just getting these documents from a university is just, actually it's taken months. So yeah. So in terms of insurance, obviously this video is titled Everything I Know So Far. I know that I have insurance on my flight, and I know that some universities do have their own kind of, I don't know, like year abroad insurance scheme. I haven't actually looked into it and I do need to ask my friends about that, but I'm pretty sure that either you need insurance for like the entire year that you're there, and I checked on like Money Supermarket and it was like £500. I mean, I've already spent a lot of money anyway, and I'm just like trying to see if I don't need to spend that much. Yeah, the point is that I know that Japan has their own kind of national health insurance scheme where if you're on a student visa and you sign up to this kind of NHS, then you only have to pay like 30% of your medical bill. Do you guys know anything about like insurance for your year abroad? So I need to get back to you on that. Next would be photocopies, because I'm taking a lot of original documents with me, like my certificate of eligibility, passport, even your birth certificate. I saw that you should like photocopy, as well as bringing it with you. Take a photocopy of it and leave one here, and take like 3 or 4 of you to Japan, because you never know, you might be asked by their national health insurance scheme to leave like a photocopy there, or even at the airport they're gonna need something from me, and I'm gonna be annoyed if I'm gonna have to leave that original document with them. So accommodation is probably the most annoying thing I've had to sort out in this whole process, because it's taken me and my 2 best friends that I'm renting with like 3 months to kind of secure and pay for, get the keys for like an apartment. The really annoying thing about universities in Japan is that they don't actually have enough space for all the international students who are enrolled there. So for example, my university has, I think it's 1,000 international students or thereabouts, but they only have 300 kind of rooms in their on-campus accommodation. That meant a lot of my classmates had to either apply for off-campus partners or find private accommodation. And the really annoying thing about their on-campus accommodation is that the bathroom is shared. The room is less than half the size of my room at home. It's not a box room, but it's like a rectangle room, and it's like straight down. It's literally a bed, a fridge, like a really small window, and like small walk-in space. Like you couldn't even fit your luggage in there. The kitchen is shared, but that's quite normal. But the point is that it's literally £900, and to have a shared bathroom for that that price is ridiculous. And in terms of the off-campus partners, there's actually nothing really wrong with them. It's just that you would be separated from your friends as well as being far away from the uni, because some of the partners are like a 40-minute train journey to the university, which really adds up to the cost of living. You can rent privately. I would recommend to rent with 1, 2 or 3 other friends, because not only does it split your cost of living, there are a lot of companies that are specifically for foreigners or even foreign students. So for example, I'm going to be renting with 2 of my best friends. I trust them with my life. So the apartment that I'm renting is actually costing us £400 each, practically all of our bills and insurance. However, we did have to pay a really big deposit, but the good thing is that because we kind of reserved this apartment a couple months before we're leaving for Japan, we kind of have the time to save up. We do actually get some of the deposit back, and that's a really good thing. Apply with enough time, especially if you are going to get a maintenance loan. So in comparison to my first and second year, which cost £9,250, your year abroad actually costs £1,385. I'll go to the university abroad, and then that student will come to my university. I would recommend that you take out a maintenance loan. You can choose the amount that you want, up to £5,385, but I would recommend for any student to take out that much. Japan in general has a very high cost of living, and of course I'm going to be in Tokyo, which has the highest cost of living out of all the cities, between £800 to £1,200 per month for a student, especially because the rent is super high and it's a very densely populated city with not a lot of space. Some students can get a little bit more, so I think you can get up to like around £11,000, but that does depend on your income, whether you live at home or if you have a dependent. You'd probably need about £8,000 to £10,000 for the entire year, including your rent and of course cost of living. But I don't think that would cover traveling or like really luxurious purchases, so definitely have a look at your kind of spending habits now as a student and see maybe like what you could cut down, or whether you want to get a job to kind of like maintain your standard of living, if you know what I mean, or your quality of life. I don't know. In terms of your flight ticket to Japan, student finance does not actually cover that, so you have to pay for your flight ticket in full unless you are accepted into like the travel grant scheme. Again, something that does depend on parents' income, where you would only have to pay for the first £200 of your flight ticket, and then I think student finance will pay for the rest, but I didn't qualify for that, so that's why I'm going to be talking about my flight and how much I paid. One thing I love about moving to Japan in September is that the flights are really cheap, even more cheaper because I actually bought my flight 2 months ago. Between September and November, the flights to Japan can be as low as £300. Like the really peak season, it can go in excess of £1,000, which is why I recommend to buy your flight as soon as possible. So my economy flight to Narita airport cost me £551.61. It does include an 8-hour stopover, insurance, as well as a kind of business class lounge area for 6 hours where I can eat all the food that I want. Because it's an 8-hour stopover, I honestly don't want to be spending any more money at an airport in another country. I really can't be asked to be exchanging 3 different currencies in 24 hours. If you're wondering how I found a flight for that much, the 2 main places I checked include Skyscanner and Google Flights. I actually found the flight initially on Google Flights. I was happy really to go to Japan at any point as long as it wasn't like a day before I started university. Yeah. So the point is, I recommend to book your flight as soon as possible, unless you are moving into dorms, which requires you to enter the country and enter the dorms between a very particular date, because there are move-in dates for some dorms, which is why I highly recommend private accommodation, because you can move in at any time and it's just so much easier. One really important point is that when you're doing a year abroad, you're literally going to be bringing your life from one point of the world to the other. I would highly recommend you look at the luggage and the weight kind of limits for the airline that you're going to be on. And another really massive thing is to check if the airline has any student discounts, especially for flights that are long haul as well, because I actually got an extra 10% off of my flight because I'm a student. You do have to kind of sign up with your student emails. It would kind of take you to your university's login page, so it's like, it's really particular and it's like a lot of benefits. I also get free Wi-Fi on the plane, which is, and I've never ever got free Wi-Fi on a plane in my life, so quite frankly I feel like everything's just working out with my flight right now, and I don't necessarily like flying. I think most people just don't like flying. Other than student finance, Japan is a very cash-based society. Even if you have been saving up and all your money's in your bank account, I would definitely recommend you have at least 300 to 500 pounds, of course in yen, but in cash. I think the post office will allow you to exchange your cash, but minimum 400. So let's just say you have minimum 400 pounds, because of course exchanging your money at the airport, both in England and in Japan, they're going to give you a really rubbish exchange rate. I would definitely recommend keeping an eye on the exchange rates daily. So basically just exchange it when the rates are kind of in your favor. In terms of your bank account, get a account that would be kind of easy to access in Japan. So for example, I think Monzo would be really easy to use in Japan because their services allow you to use your card no matter what currency is on it. You can use it anywhere in the world. Something like Lloyd's or Santander is going to be a really awkward bank to access in Japan if you need to go to the bank, but you'll probably have to set up a bank account at a Japanese bank anyway. So even still, it's good to have easy access to your money. Honestly, I think that's it for the video today, and that's kind of all I know in terms of moving to Japan so far, even though I've literally got like under 30 days left and I still haven't even got a visa. So me filming this video today was a very spontaneous decision because I haven't been on YouTube for more than a year, because I wanted to kind of really focus on studying and really, I don't know, experience uni life for what it is, because my first year was completely online, because I made like such amazing friends, and these friends that I made in my second year I'm going to be living with, so I guess you will see them much more on this channel. And of course, thank you for being so patient with me throughout this entire year, because I have like completely been gone since the last video that I made saying that I'm going to Japan. Yes, I will be revealing what university I'm going to once I get to Japan, because I already know, but I'm keeping it a secret for now because then the reveal will be much more exciting. I guess the next one's going to be me packing for Japan and preparation tips, visa tips, money tips. I really like helping people and I want to help you guys move to Japan if you are going to move there one day. I guess I will see you in the next video. Have an amazing day.